If you feel like you're screaming into the void when you post content on Facebook or Instagram, struggling to find a sustainable and scalable lead generation process that sticks, and you just want someone who's been there and done that to reveal their secrets, then it's critical that you register to save your spot ASAP. During this live masterclass, you'll get to steal the exact strategy I used to scale my income from $0 to $1 million in just 19 months without spending a fortune on ads or suffering from burnout. Simply check out the show notes of the podcast episode for the link to register for your free spot in the LinkedIn Lead Gen Masterclass. And don't worry, even if you miss a couple of days or you can't make it to all the training sessions, we'll deliver the replays directly into your inbox daily so you can watch them on your own time. All you have to do is make sure you sign up for the masterclass before registration ends. Hey. I hope you guys enjoy these, what I'm calling podcast shorts for my Burnout to All Out community. This is just a little peek behind the curtain of the coaching that goes on inside of my programs. We're bringing to you some of the best nuggets and coaching I'm giving within hot seats of all of our different programs, whether it's our LinkedIn Method Academy, our mini mastermind business basics, all the way up to our higher level mastermind. If you're hearing some of these questions and you're like, man, I wish I could get my burning question answered by Melissa. Hey, guess what? You could be featured on my podcast. If you've got a question that you want answered and you submit it to my team and we pick it, we will bring you here to the podcast for our podcast shorts and do a hot seat with you. Where can you submit your questions? Send them to teamburnouttooallout.co. We'll make sure we drop that in the show notes for our podcast shorts. And I hope that you guys find as much value in these shorts as our clients do inside the program. Need some effective tactical advice that actually helps you get results and makes a real difference in your life and business? You've come to the right place. If you're finding yourself here today, it means you're getting ready to gain serious traction in your business, rapidly multiply your income and impact, and you're ready to make it happen while living all out. Guys, I'm Melissa Hinault, your trustworthy corporate dropout turned six-figure business burnout turned happy and healthy CEO of a multi-million-dollar online business. And you're listening to the Burnout to All Out podcast. On this show, we're serving up innovative growth strategies, simple implementation methods to put them into practice, and action-stimulating inspiration tailored specifically for the modern entrepreneur. Let's dive in. Okay, so I am going to go to, let me see, I think it was Tisha. All right, so let me pull up your question, your initial start to the question. You have several questions, but they're all tied to creating strategy for promotion of your offer. And you'd like to discuss how to build your email list. So you want to start there with strategies to grow your email list.
I just think I'll throw out there to that is that my struggle is that I've done all the things. I've started all of the things, but there's no strategy. I just task mark, check them all off. So I started a podcast. I started a newsletter. I started a LinkedIn. I did all of these things, but there's nothing that's making it cohesive to say, this is where I should actually put my energy and how I can actually do that. Because obviously the most important thing for me is my email list as opposed to all the chaos and noise. So that's kind of what I'm hoping to.
Because your podcast, your LinkedIn strategy, that's all top of funnel to feed into growing your email list. And so I'm sure you've built some opt-ins or some freebies at this point.
Yeah.
So one thing I would love to share with you guys that is working really well for us right now, which is the whole reason we have 1,000+ registrants for our upcoming masterclass, is by running these, and you don't even have to use automation depending on size and scale. You can manually do this. We've been doing these Instagram, and you can do them on LinkedIn too. We're doing them across Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. It's just that Instagram, you don't have to use ManyChat, especially if you don't have a huge following. You can literally manually go in and do it yourself. But what we're doing is we're creating content that's creating curiosity around the opt-in. Give some value add around the opt-in with a call to action. With the call to action that if you want more, put in this little keyword and we'll follow up and give you that thing. So for instance, for us, we're 3 weeks away from the Lead Gen Academy Masterclass. So obviously our opt-ins are focused on LinkedIn specific tactics. So 100 social prompts for LinkedIn or a LinkedIn profile mini makeover. But the social content that we're creating is just a bite-sized nibble of curiosity and value that's saying, hey, if you want more of this or you want the full download on this, put the keyword LinkedIn in the comment section and we'll follow up. Right now, if you're tech savvy and you want to go play with ManyChat, and I know Jackie's doing some training on this, but you don't have to. You can manually do this. We've got ManyChat set up. So we made a post last week and we've gotten almost 100 comments on it if you go back and look. And it's because people are putting in the keyword and you can either automate it through ManyChat or you can go into the DMs and give them the registration information for the opt-in. That is going to immediately grow your email list as long as your opt-in is tied to building your email list. What we have learned by accident, because Instagram is tied into auto posts for Facebook, we weren't really quality checking it and it was auto posting over on Facebook. And we saw a bunch of people randomly putting the call to action in the comment section on Facebook, which is not automated. So now we're in there manually going, oh shit, okay, let's follow up. We didn't realize people were following us on Facebook about this. And then you can go do the same thing over on LinkedIn. So we've had over 4,000 visits to our pages through taking this strategy in the past 3 to 4 weeks across platforms. So that's one thing you can do. The other thing you can do, and this really dovetails into opt-ins, right? Because I'm a huge fan of if you're going to create something, use it as many different avenues as you can. So what you guys are going to see this week and next week is over on LinkedIn, we're marketing a live event this week and next week where I'm going to run a workshop. Well, guess what the workshop is on? It's basically on the opt-in that I'm going to be talking about. So it's a mini LinkedIn profile discussion, or it is, I can't remember what the other one is, but it's, 30 minutes with LinkedIn to increase your productivity. Well, what is that? It's my LinkedIn checklist. I'm not creating anything new, but if you're growing your network on a weekly basis, they're going to think it's new. And when I show up and I do the live workshop, what am I doing during the live workshop? I have the link to grab that opt-in. As I'm talking, I'm saying, if you want the full workbook, if you want the full XYZ, I'm dropping the link in the chat, go grab it. That's a strategic way to also grow your email list because people are self-nominating that I desire this thing you're talking about, and I'm going to give you my email address for it. So see how you can literally take that opt-in, use it as a lead magnet for all social channels, and then you can also break it down as a free workshop over 30 to 40 minutes and drive traffic to your email list as well. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, it does. And I think my struggle is now that my offer is all locked in and everything else is kind of crossed and dotted and ready to go, I have all of these things. So there's multiple Facebook pages and groups and Instagram and LinkedIn and the podcast and the newsletter and all of these things. I'm thinking, okay, I still only have this much time that I want to put into this. I'm going to really hone in, which is why some of my other questions coming up in the same request is in regards to LinkedIn. If I'm going to take 2 hours a day to promote business, where's the most efficient places maybe for me to go in? And am I really trying to fit all of these different things into that 2-hour window so I do it all? Is there a way for me to really just say, okay, look, next 90 days, just do these things? I'll check out the boxes, Melissa. You tell me what to do. I'll get it done. But
yeah, so I think we'd have to split up activities. When you say promoting business, to me, there's 2 different activities. One is daily activity, and the other is more top level marketing, mapping, and strategy and planning so that the day-to-day doesn't feel overwhelming. So if you take a step back from your marketing strategy with LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, newsletter, and you take a step back and you say, okay, step back from all the different channels and just ask myself on a monthly map, what do I want to strategically cover on a daily basis? Maybe 5 days a week, maybe 3 days a week if 5 days a week feels overwhelming, and pick an A and a B lane. You have to get really good at an A lane of traffic first. So Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, podcast, email marketing, pick one of them has to be your number one focus that you're actually getting traction and creating community on. And that B lane can be getting that second level of attention, but we're never going to get full momentum in any swim lane if we're not fully focused on going full throttle on one. So what I suggest is taking a step back, looking at your marketing map, if you will, and saying, okay, if I'm going to choose, let's name it LinkedIn as my A swim lane, what is my marketing strategy for the next 4 weeks? And I need to map this out. So we're doing this right now. So I'll give you a classic example for us. Well, for the next 3 weeks, we're leading into a masterclass. And we also, over the next 3 weeks, are really focusing on growing registrations for our live event because it's around the corner. So when I look at the marketing map and I look at the content I'm putting out, it informs why I'm doing these lives. Like, why am I doing these LinkedIn lives? Why am I creating the Manny chat that's encouraging people to opt into this thing? Because I'm growing my email list to market the thing that I'm working on. So if you take a step back and you just look at your LinkedIn marketing and you say, okay, 3 to 5 days a week over the next 4 weeks, here are the key things I'm going to focus on a weekly basis, and map that out and plan it. And then that becomes your springboard to spray across anything else that you're working on instead of trying to overcomplicate it. If you're creating content that's going to go out on LinkedIn Monday through Friday, then just go do the same thing on Instagram because it's maybe a B, C, D, E, F, G lane that you don't need to overcomplicate it, like trending and matching right with X, Y, Z. And I wouldn't worry about that. Make sure you've got the A lane right and tight, and then just spray it across the other channel. Same thing with Facebook, also with your newsletter. So again, what you can do is, out of all the content you're writing this week or planning for LinkedIn, which post is going to be the most long form, the most compelling, and just make it your freaking email newsletter. Again, don't try to recreate the wheel. And even better, just go to last week's content and find which one got the most traction, which post, which piece of content. Maybe for some of you, it's audio. Maybe it was a podcast that had the most downloads. And how do you convert that into a quick little email newsletter? But the bottom line is, what I want you doing, Tisha, is not recreating, but like sticking to one marketing plan for one platform and then just getting really militant about dumping it over to the other ones without perfectionism. Knowing that it's going to be a little sloppy, it's going to be a little messy. If you go to my Facebook page right now, you're going to be like, what is she doing? Because it's just a bunch of graphics dumped over there, auto posted from Instagram. Doesn't fit the form or the purpose of Facebook at all. That's because Facebook is like Z for me in priority right now. But I'm also not going to miss an opportunity to dump the shit I'm working on over there in case it does pass by some people. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's such a great idea. And I think you told me that last time because that's what I'm doing now. So LinkedIn is my main lane. And I hired a VA who's just like repurposing everything since January and just throwing it over my shoulder kind of thing. But I think that kind of pulled me then into LinkedIn. When I first joined up with LinkedIn Academy, Lead Gen Academy now, whatever it was a lot more comfortable for me to seek out connections and engaging in things because we could add notes and you could like, hey, you could comment on somebody. And then they changed that. And ever since then, I've been like a deer in headlights. Like, what do I do with this? So I think that I fine-tuned my offer, my marketing, my messaging sounds good. But now I feel like I'm looking at this platform again. This is supposed to be my lane. And I'm putting stuff out there 5 to 7 days a week. But I feel like I should be engaging more.
And I saw your note. You've got a large network that you want to re-engage. And so I think the best way to re-engage a large network that you already have is, because you can't leave a personal note, what you can still do is go to their profile and hover over their engagement. And what you basically do is go hang out where they're hanging out. So when you want to get into a conversation with an ideal prospect, but instead of like cold DMing them, it's like go to their page and go find a comment or a post. Just go to their activity and make a comment. How many of you notice in your notifications, you notice people who are engaging in your content? You're like, oh, who was that? You go check them out. So it's an extra step, but if you go make that a practice, and again, you don't necessarily have to do this, but you would need to make a list for your VA on who to go do that with. So I have a social media manager who goes in on a daily basis, and one of her income producing activities is to engage for 5 to 10 minutes on prospective leads. And so you just want to make some comments so that then you can go in to the conversation in the DMs, because then it's relevant. But just warming them up through, I hate to say it, but kind of like stalking them.
And I had thought even just like reaching out via DM, just saying, hey, it's been a long time since we connected. Do you know I have a career shift now? This is what I'm doing. If you're not up for this, like disconnect from me. But if you are, cool, I'd love to reconnect again or something like that. I just feel like there's this group of people that I could be doing something with, and I haven't pulled the trigger to engage yet because I've been trying to figure out the best use of my time to actually do that. Right. I think that works for me.
Makes sense?
It does. Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys, so much for listening in on today's podcast episode. And I can't wait for you to see my upcoming guest in the next episode. You are going to love this keynote speaker. Hey, here's the deal. If you liked this, please subscribe and leave a review. And you want the latest online business growth strategies and exclusive LinkedIn pro tips sent straight to your phone? Text the word update to 704-318-2285. That is, text the word update to 704-318-2285. Can't wait to see you guys. Come find me over on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, wherever you like to hang. I cannot wait to hear how you are enjoying and applying what you're learning. You guys reach out to me over on social, because I love hearing what's resonating with you. When you reach out to me and you send me those personal DMs, they really do impact the content I continue to bring forward to you. So again, come find me, Melissa_Hinault over on Instagram, Melissa Hinault over on LinkedIn and Facebook. Can't wait to see you guys over there.